Today's show is all about mashups. Movie characters we want to see with other movie characters, franchises that we want blended together, video game characters we want to see together as well, and also we've got our top 5 video game mashups. Which one is going to be on top? I'm voting for Smash Bros. Gotta love my Smash Bros. All this right now on the F Word Podcast.
With you.
I thought she was with you.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the F Word Podcast. I am G, and with me is Anthony. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. I've been waiting. We have 2 big hyped up games coming out the same day.
Yes.
Assassin's Creed Origins and Mario Odyssey.
Oh, man, that one looks dope, too. I wasn't big on it because I was like, I don't get the open world with Mario, but after seeing some gameplay, it looks incredible.
I have not watched a lot of gameplay because I don't want to get spoiled, but I am so hyped for this game.
Yeah, both of them are going to be competing. And that's the thing, they come out at the same time. Like, you'd think, I mean, it's good competition, but...
Well, after Mario and Ubisoft kind of did their own team up, they're competing now with Mario and Rabbids.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, I mean, a Mario and an Assassin's Creed game together would be pretty awesome. So that's kind of what we're talking about today. We're talking about mashups. Mm-hmm. So we're going to start with some of our movie mashups, and then we're going to go into our video game mashups. And this one came from T_Simpson13 on our Entertain Facts page, who was asking about the best movie mashups that could be possible. And then we're going to do some ones that are just for fun.
Yeah.
Right? Because I know the one we were talking about last night was like John Wick and Neo, right? As a movie one. It's like, well, it's the same character, so it's not really possible, but it'd be fun for them to do it, right?
One thing I want to throw in, just for a movie one I'd love to see, we talked about this so many times in the past, like 2 weeks, and it's a throwback to Jesse. I want to see Kevin McAllister and Jigsaw. I want to see that somehow, because technically we're saying they're the same person, so it'd be much like a mashup.
Yeah.
But seeing them kind of like intertwined and being real, I would love to see that.
Yeah, or like if they somehow, like years later, they kind of start releasing these series of movies that we think are kind of like Home Alone, but they're not, and it's just getting darker and darker and darker until it meets the first Saw. That'd be pretty crazy.
It'd be like a Gotham for Saw.
And it would end up like just shaking the bedrock of Home Alone. Like everybody would just look at it completely different. Mm-hmm. Well, a few of them that I have here, mostly, I don't have any. I've got 2 superhero movie related ones, okay? And that would be an Iron Man and Batman movie. I mean, just because...
2 rich dudes.
Exactly. 2 rich dudes, both have armor, they can both go toe-to-toe, and it would just more so be that one against the other and to just see what happens, right? And then the other one I had was, and I mentioned to you last night, would be a Jason Bourne and the Winter Soldier in a movie together.
I haven't seen Jason Bourne.
You haven't?
No.
Okay, so Winter Soldier is almost like Jason Bourne, and the reason is that he was also brainwashed in the Treadstone program, and so he is a bulldog. He just goes. When he gets triggered, like, he just moves. However, he's a little bit more conscious than the Winter Soldier, because when they start doing, like they showed in Civil War, the whole reading through thing, like he just goes until he gets knocked out, right? So, but they're almost 2 similar people, 2 similar styles of fighters, and they just go. Nothing stops them.
Would you want more of like a serious film or like a buddy cop kind of thing?
See, I don't know, because a part of me wants it to be serious, because I want to see those 2 fight more often. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So they would be on opposing sides, and yeah, the Winter Soldier's got his metallic arm and stuff, but he still works with guns. Like, he's strong, sure, but I mean, just Jason Bourne being the resourceful person that he is, like the resourceful, how can I say, what's the name of it? Soldier that he is, and he could just go in, barrel in, and he would probably just not stop, because in the movies, he's been torn to shreds, and he still keeps going.
Okay, I'm going to do a mashup of not a movie and a movie, but a movie and a TV show. I think I also kind of mentioned it over a while ago, but a Kingsman and Archer in the style of Archer.
in the cartoon style.
Like an actual like TV
Yeah.
show, like full film. That would be pretty funny to watch. Just because Eggsy and Archer, they're like you can kind of tell it's kind of the same kind of character. They have the same kind of motives and same kind of like just characteristics and personalities.
Well, they've got good personalities that would work together. Yeah, and like so, Eggsy is more cheeky, and Archer is just really blunt and sarcastic. Man, that would be so good. I think you mentioned that in our review.
Yeah,
I was just thinking about that, and the next day I was like, that would be so good because they're both kind of unrealistic spy things, right? Obviously, aside from the fact that Archer never dies. And will never die. But I mean, yeah,
and they did also had the crossover happen.
Yeah. You mentioned that too.
Yeah, the Comic-Con trailer for I think it was for Archer, but it might have been for Kingsman. But Archer walked into the like Kingsman kind of like store.
Yeah.
And somehow he like stumbled upon the whole thing, and Eggsy comes in like, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
And it's just so good.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Another one I had, which I thought was just a funny one, which wouldn't happen just based on overall like time periods though, but would be an Ace Ventura and Jack Sparrow.
I have not seen either of those properties.
No. Oh man. Okay, for those of you who have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've never seen the Pirates movies, like, or have you seen even like Jack Sparrow just being Jack Sparrow?
I've seen I know Ace Ventura. Like I've seen clips. I've seen clips of Jack Sparrow, but never been interested to see any of the Pirates movies. Ace Ventura I might go back to one day, but I just don't care to see Pirates of the Caribbean. Watch
the first one, maybe the second one. After that, it's just, for me with the Pirates movies, it's always been the music's been way better than the movie itself, except for number one. Number one was a really good one. But yeah, so I've got Ace Ventura and Jack Sparrow. Neo and Blade. Have you seen Blade before?
No. I haven't seen a lot of movies, man.
Super serious guys. James Bond and Tom Cruise in Double O Possible.
James Bond, Tom. Okay.
You know the Mission Impossible Tom Cruise. Sorry, Ethan Hunt's character, right? So those are mine.
I'm gonna throw one in. The only superhero one I would want to see: Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Daredevil.
That's it.
That's all you need. They're in the same area, Hell's Kitchen.
Yep.
Shredder and Kingpin.
Speaking of that, have you read or seen any of the stuff that they have with Batman and the Ninja Turtles? That's pretty cool.
They have a Power Ranger one going on too, I think.
Do they?
I don't know if it's still going on, but it's like recent.
Way back when in the 90s, after Secret of the Ooze, I think it was, they did do a Power Rangers crossover with Ninja Turtles.
I think it was really bad TV show that they had going on with the female one.
Yeah.
The Next Mutation, I think it was called.
The female was an abomination. That was just brutal. Any other ones in terms of the movie that... Like, just...
I don't want to do any superhero ones because I feel like you could just go like...
Those are easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those are easy. Because then what? You're just doing Marvel, DC, maybe X-Men and DC or whatever.
Which, like everybody wants to see. You don't need that to state. I want to see a Marvel and DC crossover.
Yeah. We already know that.
Films. Let's see. So a good comedy one. I'm thinking... I actually have no idea what else. Just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Daredevil are definitely top one for like serious action, like superhero.
Yeah.
No. I take it back. Transformers... And then, what is it? Fast and Furious. Having Dom ride Optimus Prime and just like them doing all these crazy action stunts.
That would be out. And I was thinking, I'm like, I want Vin Diesel to be with somebody. And yeah, that would be so awesome. Just, it would be absolutely ridiculous. And then their bad guys have the Decepticons, and it's pretty much the same thing because the Fast and Furious people are now superheroes apparently that can like fly through the air and stuff.
Catch missiles in the middle of the air.
That would be awesome.
And Rock could rock bottom Megatron. In the fifth movie, I think Optimus sweet chin music to Megatron. If you know what that is, do you know what sweet chin music is?
No.
It's basically Shawn Michaels' move. This is kind of the guy who made it more popular in modern day. Like, just I'm not a big wrestling guy, but I know he's like the main guy who did it. He basically just does this and kicks him in the chin, and they go flying.
Perfect. That's what you want to see.
Oh yeah.
And then like you see Vin Diesel come out of nowhere and punch him on the way down as he kicks him up. Like it wouldn't make sense at all, but they'd still do it. Yeah. I would see that movie. I would definitely see that movie. Last one I have is a little bit of it is something that's always been theorized, and I think it's already been confirmed by Quentin Tarantino, but I would love to have seen a Vic and Vince Vega movie. So Vic Vega was the guy in Reservoir Dogs who played Mr. White, and Vincent Vega was in Pulp Fiction, and two separate movies around the same time if you were to believe the lore that Quentin Tarantino has created, and they're both brothers, they're both gangsters. Now, one of them is way more of a psychopath than the other, however, we never got to see that side of Vince Vega. So the only issue is, spoilers if you haven't seen Pulp Fiction, but it came out in 1990, get on it. Vince Vega dies in that one, so it would have to be some type of a prequel, because in Reservoir Dogs, Vic Vega was in prison for a time he took the rap for the guys that he was working with, and so then they put him on this new job or whatever. So that's one of the ones I know a lot of people have talked about that want to see is a Vic and Vince Vega one. And then I guess one more would be funny, John Wick and the Transporter, Jason Statham.
I have no idea who the Transporter is.
So Jason Statham plays a guy who's just a transport. He's got his rules. It doesn't matter if you're doing a bank heist or whatever, and he's got his 3 main rules, which for some reason he breaks all the time, every show.
Rules are meant to be broken.
Yeah, but I mean, they do it in such a way that like they should have just left the first movie as it was because it was a lot of fun, and then stopped because they kept going, and then it's like you keep breaking the rules, man. Like just stop. But anyways, so he's just a badass that could fight and take out rooms of guys, and John Wick's the same. So
you've been mentioning a lot of John Wick, and one thing I'd love to see is John Wick and Liam Neeson. Doesn't matter which Liam Neeson, because they're basically all the same guy. But just anyway, like if John Wick came into one of the Taken films and he actually took the daughter or whatever happened to get taken, and they just teamed up, or even if they teamed up as like an actual group and
just save his daughter again because she's an idiot.
Do anything, kill people on a plane, find some guy texting him random messages. But one TV show, I'm a big fan of The Walking Dead.
Huge.
You were a big fan of Breaking Bad.
Huge.
Have you heard of the like kind of mini crossover where one of the main characters was talking with some skanky white, B word who would always yell the B word, and he had like he was a dealer for a blue crystal meth.
Oh, okay. So they were going to throw Jesse in The Walking Dead, is what you're saying?
Not throw him, but they were like kind of hinting that like one of the guys was getting dealt by Jesse and Walt. So if they kind of somehow had a prequel to The Walking Dead, but also had like an aftermath of Breaking Bad, how it all like went into The Walking Dead, I think that would be pretty good and a good throwback to AMC fans.
I was going to say AMC, same family. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's our mashups for the movies. We're going to do video games right up, but right now we've got our top 5. It's top 5 time, and this week we've got the top 5 video game mashups. We put out a poll. It was a little bit later, and we kind of rushed it, and I want to thank Arturo Music Man on Instagram who DM'd us. We made a mistake on Kingdom Hearts. I accidentally put Kingdom of Hearts, so thanks so much for letting us know about that. I appreciate it. Guys, check out Arturo Music Man's page, and again, for keeping us in check, and make sure we won't do it again. So, this week, how did the poll go? Well, at 61.18%, by a sweeping victory, Smash Bros. Is number 1, which is what I was hoping for. You guys did me proud. Then we've got Mario Kart in at 16.47% at number 2. Marvel vs. Capcom at number 3. As well, tied with Mortal Kombat vs. DC at 7.06%. They had the same percentage, so 3 and 4 respectively. Marvel versus DC action going on there. And then lastly, rounding out number 5, we have Kingdom Hearts at 5.88%. Now, how does that fare with our list? Almost identical, except we didn't have Kingdom Hearts on ours. We had Smash Bros. At number 1, Mario Kart at number 2, Marvel vs. Capcom at number 3, Mortal Kombat vs. DC at number 4, and Street Fighter X Tekken at number 5. That's our top 5. You guys did me proud. Smash Bros. Is number 1 and will always be. Enjoy the rest of the show. All right, let's talk video games, Anthony. So I just threw out in the beginning of the show an Ezio and Mario one, which obviously wouldn't work.
Yeah, no.
Just 2 different styles. And I've got another one that's similar. In terms of video game crossovers, which 2 video games, not crossovers, but mashups, which 2 video game characters would you love to see, and in which world would you like to see them in?
I was actually talking about this with Bo last night. You guys, if you've seen the first couple episodes...
I think it was episode 2 he was on.
Episode 2 of the F4T was on there. He might be coming back next week-ish, but we'll talk more about that later. But yeah, so I was talking about Mario and Sonic, but in like an actual like 2D platformer one.
Yeah.
But it was like it wouldn't really work that well because like obviously one's really fast, one's kind of just slow.
He's slower unless he gets the mushroom.
Mm-hmm. But I was gonna say like you don't really have to have Sonic go fast. Like kind of have different levels where maybe Sonic's in Mario's world and you kind of just flip back and forth till they finally meet up and defeat whoever the boss is.
Well, the thing with Mario's world is that he doesn't have any of those loops, and that's Sonic's bread and butter. So if he doesn't have those loops, he's still fast by his own right, but he won't have those where you go around and then just catapults out. So maybe it would be better if Sonic came over to Mario. That would be a solid one. Any other ones?
Okay, well, I'm going to talk about one crossover that worked really well, which Nintendo, that's really all they do, crossovers and solos. Mario Kart, Smash Bros., which I don't know why they haven't done another Smash Bros., but if they somehow found a way to just get more characters outside of Nintendo, like Cuphead would be nice, like that's a newer game out that like really looks like the style of like Nintendo. You had some Sony characters, maybe like, I don't even know what Sony, like Final Fantasy, I'm pretty sure that's more of like Sony like
I think
property
so.
now.
I think so. I'm not sure. I don't
Cloud
remember.
came over, so they're starting to play more friendly, but I just like, if you had a bigger roster for Smash Bros. Other than like Nintendo, Sega, and like some Capcom characters,
Right.
I feel like they can make even more bank on like such a huge like franchise.
Well, let's say they even throw in. I was just like how crazy it'd be. Who's the in BioShock, the first one?
Big Daddy, or what? Yeah.
Just Big Daddy just showing up out of nowhere, which I think would be really cool. And then going up against Sonic's bad guy.
Dr. Eggman?
Yeah.
He will get destroyed.
No, man, he's got
Unless
his
he has a
floating
robot.
thing, right?
Okay,
He's
yeah.
got his robots. That's why it would work. That would be a good one. Actually, Smash Bros. Would be great. Is like if you're head to head with someone and you crash into each other, and then it turns into an actual duel fight. But then it would like break up the gameplay.
One character I would like to see in Smash Bros. Is Goku.
Oh yeah,
Let's throw that out there because it's in Japan. It's in Japan. Goku's big.
Yeah.
Nintendo's big. Do something.
yeah. That would be really good. We have it on our thumbnail, but the Drake and Lara Croft that's the most.
Oh, yeah.
That would be the one that would make the most sense. They're now Drake's technically retired, but like, let's say
He does one more job.
one more job, whatever, or he's out somewhere with his wife and kids, and Lara Croft is there hunting for stuff, and then they team up. Like, I think out of most of the video game franchises, that would be the one that would make the most sense. The other one was Ezio and Prince of Persia.
Prince of Persia died though. So I
Well,
don't know if
and
that'll work.
the thing with the Ezio trilogy, well, I guess I want to say just Assassin's Creed and Prince of Persia, but Ezio himself, the timelines aren't going to work very well. But let's say Bayek right now, he's in Egypt, so then maybe there is a play for the Animus takes you at any point in time, right? So let's say there is an assassin from Assassin's Creed that ends up being put into the Prince of Persia franchise because Assassin's Creed came out of Prince of Persia to begin with.
What if I was looking over there, I saw Dark Knight. What if Ezio crossed over into the Arkham games and you got to play Ezio in like Arkham City?
He would never survive. I love him to death. He's my favorite Assassin's Creed character. It would be so awesome, but he would not survive. No social stealth, no hay bales,
Okay, I guess.
and his hidden blade and swords would do nothing. Like if it was in Arkham, like are you talking in Arkham Asylum?
No city.
In the city?
Yeah.
That'd be a tough one. He'd be able to do the rooftop stuff, obviously, but those guys have guns, man. And Ezio just got introduced to the one-hand pistol in the second one, and then they kind of built on it. But that would be pretty cool, though. Like, just, again, an assassin in that one. The big one that I'm seeing that I would really like is The Witcher 3, or Geralt from The Witcher, and Link from Zelda.
Yeah.
Those two worlds would totally work together. They both have the mystical in them. They both have monsters and ghouls and all that stuff. And I don't know which one I want in which world. Because thinking about the bosses and stuff, I think they're both relatively good. Like the monsters in The Witcher are just horrifying, right? But they're incredibly, like the design of them are beautiful and everything. So that's definitely one. What do you like? Would you see Geralt in Zelda, or would you see Zelda in the Witcher series?
Yeah, Geralt is his name.
Geralt of Rivia.
Geralt. I see Geralt going to Zelda because Zelda, or Link, not Zelda. Link going to Dark Souls or Witcher. Witcher, not Dark Souls. Witcher.
Oh yeah.
That would just, I feel like the art style and kind of like the whole dark and then him wearing a like bright green outfit.
Yeah,
would
yeah.
just not really match well.
Well, he wouldn't wear the tunic at all. He would go in there with his armor because he needs that armor. It's got the power-ups, man.
Are you sure he needs the armor though?
Well, I don't know. He's pretty awesome. He's got his he can shoot fire out of his hands and do all that stuff. So I think that's just a world that would work just because it's just got that mystical element to it.
One world that would work. This isn't essentially a mashup, but if you had Pokemon and Skyrim,
That's a mashup.
that goes together. But instead of just you have the Pokemon characters and you just go out and you see random Pokemon in the wild, you battle, you
In
train.
Skyrim?
In Skyrim, just a whole open. I think they're doing an open world Pokemon game for the Switch. I think probably in 2 years it's gonna get delayed.
Yeah.
If you do something like that and you go out, find them, you capture, you can fly overboard. Oh, speaking of flying, Game of Thrones, Skyrim.
Obviously, yeah, that would be a
It got
huge
leaked,
one.
but I'm pretty sure that was fake because that's been a rumor for like the past 3 years. But if they do it, they will make bank.
Yeah, the only thing I've seen of Game of Thrones in terms of the gaming platform stuff is on a phone. Like they've got an app.
Telltale.
There's an app in the App Store, a Game of Thrones one where you can like build your character. And I don't know how much of an RPG it is, but like if I get into more mobile games, I'm going to be done. There
is one for PlayStation, Telltale, but that's That was not received very well.
No, probably a rush job.
Yeah, probably.
The other one I have, which is completely out of left field, is Kratos from God of War and Mario, because they're two completely different people. This goes back to like originally I was gonna have in the movie part of it John Wick and the Boondock Saints. If you've never seen the Boondock Saints, take a look at it. But they're like two brothers, and actually the guy who plays in Walking Dead,
Norman Reedus.
Yeah, Norman Reedus. He's awesome in it. So those two brothers are like...
Didn't Robert Kirkman actually make Boondock Saints?
I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe. That's a good point. I'll have to double check that. That's a deep cut. Well done. But those two together being like, they're kind of bumbling assassins and they're going off to kill for the sake of whatever. And then John Wick just being John Wick, right? So I think that would be really cool. And then, so the Kratos and Mario one would just be like one guy that's super serious and one guy that's always just like, woohoo, this is great, like jumping around and stuff.
Killing Poseidon, killing Zeus, just going off.
And he could just bounce everywhere, and he could do his double bounce while Kratos is just throwing stuff. And I'm talking like the Greek mythology Kratos, because we haven't seen the Norse one yet, but that looks so awesome.
If we are going to go off with Mario, and we're going to use new ability, the Cappy, I think that's actually official name.
Right.
Throw it on Kratos, possess him,
Hey, there you go.
Boom. Or throw it on Zeus.
Perfect.
Everybody, easy game, easy money.
Perfect. And then I don't think I had any other ones for video games because I was trying to think which ones would work really well in terms of just fitting in their style. Do you have anything else that would work?
One more I'm going to say is I've been playing a lot of Fortnite recently.
Okay.
Which have you heard of it?
I've heard of it. I haven't played it.
It's basically like a huge 100-man battle royale. So me and Jesse were playing a bit of that last night, and I was thinking like, if Call of Duty or a first-person shooter like that had like just made a game mode like this, where it's first person, you get dropped in, you just try to survive, and you like just scavenge stuff. I feel like, especially if it was like a zombie one, like Walking Dead tried doing it, and they threw zombies in the element too.
Yeah,
I feel like a first-person shooter with zombies, and like you just tried surviving with like 100 other people trying to kill you.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be a pretty fun game.
What are your thoughts on Halo and Mass Effect crossover?
I do not care for either.
Don't care for either?
Halo, I just cannot get into it. Mass Effect, never really got into it either.
I mean, Mass Effect 3 was the one that everyone was just like, I think it was Mass Effect 3, or 2 or 3, I forget which one was the one that was like, everyone loved, and I loved it too, and I played the hell out of it.
It was 2.
I think it was 2 too. And I played the hell out of it, and it was incredible. And then Halo, I only played 1 and 2.
Which were, I heard, the best.
Yeah, I played 1 and 2, really liked them, but then I ended up getting a PlayStation instead of an Xbox, so then I just never played Halo again. But those two would work, I think, just on the basis
first person, third person, so it'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, but at that point, like, not in terms of the game, the play style, I think it's a lot, like, the mashups would need to work where the worlds, work. So you do have, like you mentioned, a third person and a first person, however, you could still, change it. Or a Halo and Gears of War. That might work just because they have their army of Halo guys, and then the Gears of War have their army too.
One game I would like to see, this my last one for game.
Yeah.
Rick and Morty and Portal. Because, Rick and Morty has his actual portal gun, and he's just like some kind of smart guy. Then you have GLaDOS, who is like, the smart robot who's trying to trick.
Yeah.
And you just go around beating all these puzzles with, Morty cracking jokes and just boom, boom, boom.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Well, that's our list for our mashups. Thank you very much for the question. I think it was T_Simpson. Let me come back and make sure. You believe it so?
Yeah, I believe it so.
I believe it so. T_Simpson13. So thanks so much for your question. And then we kind of built on that with the video game one. He mentioned something like Star Wars with Guardians of the Galaxy or Indiana Jones with Marvel, which those are pretty cool too. I would definitely see the Star Wars and Guardians 100%. Yeah. If you guys have mashups, put it in the comments below, hit that like button, and hit that little bell so you know when we have stuff coming up. We do have a special announcement that we're not going to do today, but we're going to be having a special episode with some really cool guests coming up very soon, so keep an eye on that. Hopefully, we're working on it. So when that's official, I think we're going to do a quick teaser, and then we're definitely going to do just an episode devoted to that.
Yeah.
So that was the F Word Podcast. I am G. Anthony. Thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
These are some killer mashups. We need to get this stuff going ASAP.
Exactly.
And don't forget, you can always email us at thefwordpodcast@gmail.com. We did cancel our iTunes, so if you're looking at it on iTunes, it's not there. But YouTube's the way that we're going to be rolling with.
Maybe, we'll get it back eventually.
Maybe.
But for now, just YouTube.
Just YouTube.
Way to go.
Yeah, exactly. So leave your comments. You can find me on Twitter at @TheFWordsG, and always make sure that you're following Entertain Facts on Instagram so you can get your topic in on the show, and then our poll that comes out as well.
And real quick announcement, there's actually a new page as well. Entertain Jokes, not run by me, run by a friend, but that's just gonna be jokes or memes about cinema, film, video games, kind of like the whole entertainment page, but for jokes and memes, so kind of same content but just not facts.
Sweet. That's awesome. That was the Effort Podcast. I'm G. This was Anthony once again, and we are out.